Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day is going wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. Well, today I am so excited I get to share with you a couple of projects with some brand new items in the C&CT Stamp brand new release called All the Feels. Super fun release. There are some new mini slimline dies in the release, and that's what we're going to make today, some mini slimline cards. This here is a set and it's called Mini Slimline Windows. What it does is it creates three windows in your panel, but it's open-ended, so it's just not framed in. You can create any size frame that you want for the windows, but you're not limited to the mini slimline. You can actually create a window for your regular slimline cards. Now I create my mini slimlines with a card panel that measures 3 1/4 inches by 6 1/4. That's the size here, but there are many different sizes of the mini slimline. As long as it fits in a number 6 3/4 inch envelope, you got it. But again, my size that I like to create with is a 3 1/4 inch by 6 1/4 inch. I just created a card front panel with those measurements, and I'm going to die cut this out to show you the sentiments in here too. There are 6 sentiments, well actually technically 5. There's love you, but you could use just love or you could use just you. The nice thing about filling in those windows is you get the little bonus sentiments. There is hello, hi, thanks, smile, and love you. So there's the 3 oblong windows here, and it fits perfectly on your card front. And again, you can customize the frame size, which makes it really nice. And again, it's open-ended, so you could probably get away with doing this on a regular A2 size card, although I think you might be shy one window. But I'm going to punch out all the sentiments, and they're just block letter sentiments, but you get the positive and the negative. So whatever letters are there, you could actually create words with, which is nice. So it seems like a pretty basic die, but there's lots of options to it. Now I'm going to just punch out each of these letters, or at least a smile, and kind of arrange them so you can see the size of it. They're a little bit less than 3/4 of an inch, so they're good size for sentiment building. And then you could put smile, love you. You could probably even create, like I said, full sentiments in here. Now I like that these sentiments are situated on the inside of these windows perfectly, because the window square is actually 3/4 inches wide. So if you trim them directly in half at the 3/4 inch mark, you have 2 perfectly blocked sentiments, at least the negative part. And I think that's genius, only because I don't like fiddling with my paper trimmer. It's a little hard to read the lines anyway. But if you were to do 5/16 or whatever, it's a little bit more difficult trimming to get it straight. But so 3/4 inch mark is great. Okay, let's put these back, set these aside, and let's look at another mini slimline die set. This one here is like a mini slimline staple. So if you are a mini slimline card maker, this set is perfect for you. But again, this is not only great for your mini slimlines, you could use it for your regular A2 size cards or your regular slimlines too. Now, when they're attached like this, guys, I like to go ahead and run it through white cardstock a few times while they're all intact. There's 6 dies here together, and you know how you use your nippers to separate them. While they're still together, I'll run them through because they're perfectly spaced. And then I have a whole bunch of frames that I don't have to fuss with getting my frames lined up perfectly. I did this like 3 times. So in the future, you wondering how I got my frame so perfect, it's because I die cut it before I separated. But here's the sizes. The largest frame size, actually I created frames, but the largest die in the set is 6 1/4 inches by 3 1/8 of an inch. Okay, these are dies that will create panels. Okay, and then from there, they're spaced 1/4 inch. All the way down until you hit the last one. Of course, the last one is the smallest, and it would make a great sentiment strip. It measures 3/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches. So 6 rectangles in here. And this one, I don't think I even told you the name, but it's the mini slimline rectangles. So that's nice and new in the C&CT Stamp shop. Now also included, mine has a stencil set This stencil set is hot off the press. I'm not sure of the name, but I will find out the name for you and link it down below. But this is stencils perfectly made for your mini slimlines. Love this. And again, the versatility with these is nice because you could use them on basically any card project. But these are nice. There's polka dots, there's diagonal stripes, and then there's stars. Okay, I'm gonna share with you a couple of background stamps that are new to the shop. I'm not gonna use both of these for my card project today, but I am gonna be using the floral one. This one here is so neat. It is called the halftone square background stamp. And then this one is called the I am getting ahead of myself, but that one's called the spring flower background. We're gonna use this for our card today. I love that there's black leaves in here. But there's leaves in the flowers too, which makes it really nice. So 2 brand new backgrounds. We'll be making a project with some more Simon products in the future. But this here is another brand new stamp set, part of all the Feels release. This is a Slimline stamp set, and it is called Slimline Florals. And it has some really pretty sentiments in here with some blocked secondary sentiments, which makes it really nice. There's also a brand new stencil. This is called the Painted Flowers Wreath. This is such a pretty stencil. Every time I see stencils that are so pretty like this, I want to make a 12 by 12 scrapbooking page. It's just so gorgeous. But I'm going to show you how you could create a card with this. Not in today's video, in a future video, but love that one. And then I do have one more I'm going to share with you, but I didn't show it here on camera. And it's a die set. It's not a set. It's actually a card front die, and it's called the Sweet Garden Cherry Tree. So keep a lookout for videos with that also. Let's create some mini slimline cards. We're going to start off by doing some stamping. So I'm taking my 6x6 Spring Flowers background stamp. I'm going to bring in the Misty for this. And we are going to bring in some Neenah Classic Crest Solar White cardstock to stamp with Memento ink on. I'm just inking up the stamp. Technically, you don't have to ink up the whole stamp, just a panel size. Now, I pre-trim my panels to measure 4¼ by 5½ inch, so A2 size card front panels. So I'm actually going to stamp 2 of these because I wanted to create a background for my card. I think you could have probably got away with just 1, but I wanted some extra green areas, and you'll see what I mean in just a minute. We'll ink this up, and both of our panels are ready to go. Now I chose Memento ink because I'm going to color in our background with Copic markers. And I think teals and greens and black, I don't know, when I saw this color combination, I just thought this is so pretty. So I didn't even bother coloring in the flowers. Originally I was going to color in the flowers, but I decided not to because I loved the contrast with the black and the green and the teal. Now I'm coloring in smaller leaves with my teal colors. I started off with my BG10. I'm doing a little highlighting with my BG18, and then we're going to blend out that darker color with BG15, and then we'll meld them all together with the BG10 once more. And so there's our teal leaves. Sometimes it's nice. I encourage you guys to go outside your comfort zone. Instead of just thinking green for leaves, think different colors because it really does look so pretty. So once my teal leaves are done, we're going to bring in some just traditional green colors. I'm going to go ahead and start off with my G20, and I'm going to color in the larger, longer leaves with my Gs. I think I said G20, but this might be YG25, or it might be G24. Not sure which one I grabbed, but I'm just coloring the larger leaves with some green Copic markers. And again, I loved the black solid leaves with the olivey colored green leaves and then the teal leaves. I think it looks so pretty. Now, you'll notice I'm not coloring in the whole background panel. You're probably thinking, what is she doing? But I just wanted to create some of this image to go behind my window that we're going to create. So I don't need the entire background colored, basically just the leaves. And we're going to create some hot spots for behind our window. How about that? Okay, we're going to set these aside, and then we are going to do die cutting. I have my window that we created in the beginning here. I'm going to go ahead, and this is a nice size frame, but I'm actually going to trim it down a little bit more. I wanted a thinner frame. I wanted more of a background on my mini Slimline card, and so shortening the frame is going to give me more surface area in the background. I think black and white stripes are going to look great with that pattern, and so doing this is going to again give me a little bit more room to see that black and white pattern. Stripe paper actually. Okay, I'm popping up my frame with some foam tape because you know I love dimension, and then after this is popped up, I'm going to go ahead and create my sentiment. I'm going to take the same mini Slimline window die, and this time I'm going to actually die cut it out with black cardstock. Before we do that, I do want to trim these out though. Here, this is what I meant. I'm going to take my frame here, line it up over my pattern, my stamped pattern here. Just use a pencil and trace around so I know where the windows are. The pattern in this background stamp is neat because you have some areas that are have more flowers than leaves, and then you have some more leaves than flowers, and I want the more leaves. I'm going to go ahead and trim these out, and then these panels are going to go directly behind my window. Now I did this, again, you don't have to trim them out, but I wanted some color behind those windows, so that's why I did individuals. Okay, I have my Slimline card, and next we're going to take our window die and die cut it again with black cardstock. I took a panel size that was the same card front size. So this measures 3 1/4 inch by 6 1/4. I do this because I didn't want to waste the cardstock, but I do want black sentiments. So I might as well create a window frame with it. So we'll set that aside. And for this card, we're going to use the letter or the word smile. And I'm going to use the negative piece for my smile. I'm just going to punch out the letters and set the rest aside. I'm going to use my tape runner and go ahead and adhere this to white cardstock so we have a white background. Again, we just line it up on your paper trimmer at the 3/4 inch mark, and it creates a perfectly blocked negative sentiment. Line it up. And we are good to go. We have a thanks. We'll set that inside our little envelope for another card. Actually, instead of doing that, let's mat it on some white cardstock all together at once. Since we have it, and then in the future, it'll make it easy peasy. Thank you, card. I'm going to use my scissors and trim away the excess here. And on the smile, there is a little bit of extra room on the right side. You could trim that off, block it off, but what I thought would be fun is I have a lot of brads. I've mentioned this before, actually brads and eyelets. So I'm going to grab my white eyelets and my crocodile, and we're going to add an eyelet to the right side of our smile. I'm just going to punch a hole right in the center here. Add our white eyelet, and then I'm going to bring in some white twine, and we're going to tie a bow, kind of creating a smile tag just for a little added texture. I'm going to go ahead and set this, and we'll trim the tails of this, and then we're going to assemble our card. I'm going to trim them a little bit more. I always go longer. You know, you could, it's easier to go longer than shorter, that's for sure. Okay, here is my card front. I thought we would shake it up a bit and do something a little more special. So I'm bringing back that paper trimmer. I'm going to open up my card, and I'm going to trim off a 1/2 inch off of the front of my card. And then I'm going to bring in some of that black and white striped paper. This paper has actually horizontal lines. I'm just going to flip it over and add some adhesive behind there and adhere it on the inside of my card. I just used an eraser to erase my pencil marks, and then we are going to line up our pattern, our stamped pattern here behind our window. And then I'm going to place it on my card front where it's going to fit perfectly behind each one of those windows. Now I'm overlapping it a little bit on that flap. No worries, I'm just going to bring in some more of that stripe paper and cover up the area that was overhanging. It's actually turned out pretty on the inside too. I'm going to remove the release paper off of my mini Slimline window die or window panes here, add it to my card fronts, and I love the colors. I think that'd make a really pretty bedspread. I could look at that every day. I could make that every day. But for now, it's going to be a really pretty smile card, just because card. I'm going to pop up my sentiment here, and we're going to place it kind of wonky on our very bottom window. And that is card number 1. The nice thing too about the mini Slimline cards is these make great graduation cards because you can turn this so easily into a money holder. I'm going to tape it closed so it doesn't flap open, and I'm going to take some pictures for you guys. Okay, I'm going to make another card. I'm on a roll with these. I have some of my diagonal stripe black and white paper, and everything that I'm using today or showed you guys will be listed down below if you want to head on over to the Simon shop. You'll see the brand new release and there's more to this release than what I just showed you, but you'll see a lot of, or head on over to the Simon blog, guys. There is lots of inspiration over there. But this is how you would create that frame. It's the second to the largest. So basically it's die number 2 and 3 to create this frame here. And it's a 1/4 inch frame. And then I trimmed down my diagonal stripe paper just slightly smaller than my card front size. Next, I have some Bristol Smooth cardstock. We're going to do a little bit of ink blending. I'm taking some oxide inks. This is Peacock Feathers. We'll add that to the bottom and then add some Twisted Citron over the top. We're just using 2 colors, so when you blend them both together you have that real bright green in the center of them, and I like this color combination. I think it's nice and cheery. Okay, after we have that done, I'm going to take the largest die that we used to create the frame, and I'm going to use it to cut out my panel. This way I don't have to fuss with, I know it's going to fit behind my frame perfectly. And actually I can save that second piece because one of my smaller frames will fit on the excess. Okay, so basically that's what it's going to look like, but I'm going to go a little one step further and add some texture using our mini Slimline stencil set here. I'm going to use the polka dots in here. I'm going to line it up, and then I'm going to mask it off at a diagonal just using some post-it note tape, and then using one of my palette knives I'm going to go ahead and use some of my Ranger texture paste, and we're going to add some texture paste right over the stenciled. So we're going to have some polka dots at a diagonal. And I'm just spreading and smoothing it over until my entire stenciled area is filled in. Love polka dots on cards. I love well, if you haven't noticed, polka dots and stripes. But and this stencil actually has both of them, and stars too. But I'm going to go ahead and fill in this with my texture paste, and then I'm going to remove my post-it note tape. That's actually called electric tape here. We'll remove that, and then I'll remove my stencil. I'm going to go ahead and wash that off before it dries, and I put the polka dots at a diagonal because this way I can keep my card pretty clean and simple, but I can add my sentiment to the right since the polka dots are at the left. We're going to set that aside to dry, and in the meantime, for this card, I want to show you the size of these against an A2 size card front. So this is just not great for mini Slimline. Again, these stencils are great for, you could cover in, at least half of a background with them, which is really nice, and that's usually what I do with my stencils anyway. But I ended up die cutting out the word hello, and then I just matted it on some white cardstock. Actually, I didn't matte, I just added it to white cardstock, and then we're going to pop that up, and then that is our sentiment for this card. I did have to adhere that little O center. We're going to take our diagonal stripe paper, add that to our mini Slimline card base, And you can see I have a little bit of a border, about 1/8 of an inch. And I'm thinking our texture paste doesn't take too long at all time to dry, so I think it's just about ready, but just in case we'll do a little more die cutting. Actually, I don't think I have to. This is a heart die set from Simon. I've had this forever, but I love these hearts. I love the outline shape, so I'm just going to pick one. Sometimes when I die cut it out, I have extras, and I have that little pocket and back. I just grabbed one of the black hearts, and we're going to use that for our card too. I'm going to go ahead and add adhesive behind my frame. Add that just over our texture pasted polka dots. And then we are going to pop up this panel and add this to the center of our card base. I lost my little heart, so I was trying to find it. Kind of blends in with that craft mat. Okay, we'll add that, and then I'll just remove the release paper off of my sentiment, and this is again going to go to the right. Sometimes it's nice when you have balance. One item's to the left, one item's to the right. And I'm going to take my little heart. I did grab another one, a solid one, and I thought we would add two, but I think we're going to go clean and simple with just the one outline. And I think there is a great spot for that. I'm going to go ahead and put this one back, and then we're going to bring in some glue, and we're going to go ahead and glue down that little heart just below the second L in hello. Just add little dots of glue, and then we are good to go. But this release again is called All the Feels, and basically every Friday until the end of April I'll be creating with the brand new All the Feels release, so keep a lookout for those videos on Fridays. But hope you enjoyed my project, and I hope you give these little mini slimlines a chance. They're super fun to play with. Have a great day, guys. Thanks so much for stopping by. We will see you again real soon. Bye bye.